Hi, this is LP, and you're listening to Sound Sessions on WGN Radio. Look at those little tiny notes.
You know why I do that? It's so no one can read them.
The person that you're interviewing? Oh, wow. Crafty.
Thanks again for joining us here today. This is Michael with Sound Sessions here on WGN. We're speaking with the artist LP, who's here playing a sold-out show at Chicago's Metro.
Yeah.
So how does that feel? Because I'm sure that there were times when you were playing small venues. How has your perspective... No, just straight to the top.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So how has your perspective changed when you're playing these big venues and selling them out now?
It's really cool, you know. I mean, I have like... My career as of now, like, you know, in the last couple of years, has been so varied, like, you know, here in Europe and everything, so I'm kind of like going in and out of like different sized situations all the time, but it feels amazing. It's like really nice to, I think, you know, the whole journey thing that, like, when people say it's the journey, and like, I used to hate that. I used to want to like just like strangle someone when I heard that. Now I'm like, yeah, I think, in life as well as business perspective is pretty much everything.
Right now. Yeah. I feel
it's invaluable, in my opinion.
Learning these life lessons, right? And learning how to kind of just deal with the trials and tribulations, and knowing that you have to put as much work in. It's kind of like what Paul McCartney says, you only give what you get.
There you go.
Or you get what you get.
Yeah, and it's nice to watch people, you know, it grow over time, and just like the way different songs connect to people. It's cool.
Well, let's talk about your songwriting process. So that's something that, going through the album Lost on You, that I was really enjoying, is hearing how, you know, you kind of do a little tongue-in-cheek every once in a while. It's a really cool sound. I've heard that you've been compared to Johnny Cash and all these great things. When you're writing these songs, what comes first for you, though? Is it that melody that you're playing on your guitar, or is there certain words or songs?
It depends. You know, I sit around and like, you know, like mess around with chords all the time, and I feel like inspirations all the time. I'm always like recording and collecting, you know, snippets of things and titles and concepts, and you know, and then sometimes I just roll into the studio and we just start from scratch, you know. But I usually like to have a little bank of like different bits and bobs, as I say. But yeah, I think it's like it kind of gets very visceral for me when the melody comes into play, and that's where like my favorite way to write a song is usually when I have like a title or a concept, and then I start like, you know, creating the music with someone. Usually I like to collaborate mostly. I'm kind of like one of those if a tree falls in the forest, kind of like if I don't see someone like reacting going yes, yeah, I'm like, that might not be good. So I enjoy like the collaboration process like that. But so we usually start like that, and then I start to get like there's like an emotional kind of like, a lot of times like the first or second pass of like a vocal melody will be like the one, you know. It's just like my initial thing that comes out seems to be the one that like is my heart talking, you know.
Oh man, that's deep.
It's wild.
That's so deep.
Nice.
How about this? When you're going through this tour, what's your daily routine look like? Have you changed it up at all?
Yes and no. I mean, you know, I'm a little luckier now because I always have like a day room, or like, you know, even like the bus, or, you know, the dressing room where I can. I usually steam my voice. I do some yoga. I do my warm-ups. You know, yoga helps me a lot to just get my whole like physicality ready. You know.
Yeah. How long have you been practicing yoga for?
Like 11 years.
Nice.
Yeah, I love it. It's it's probably why I'm standing here right now, because it just really helped me in so many ways, you know. And it's kind of like the microwave of exercise. It like kind of strengthens you from the inside out. And as a singer, I mean, you know, your body is your instrument, so it's kind of, for me, pretty vital thing.
That's great. So you mentioned you steam your voice. What does that mean?
I use a Vicks personal steamer.
Okay.
It's like, it just looks like this thing that goes over, and it's like when you're traveling and when it's cold, like when I fly a lot, like I'll do like fly dates every day for like 10 days in a row, like I'm going to do when I go to Russia next part of the tour.
Yeah.
Like flying a lot really dries you out. So the steam like 15 minutes before my show and after my show, and it keeps me like agile.
Yeah.
And it's still hard.
You probably need that power to whistle that much too. I mean,
the whistling, like yesterday on stage, I think I did well yesterday in Kansas City or whatever, but I felt so dry. I was like, I'm drinking water the whole time, and like sometimes my whistle, I'm just like, oops, shit.
I could imagine that'd be hard. I barely know how to whistle, so I think that's a really cool power and a good thing to add to songs too. Speaking of songs, I wanted to know, I don't want to ask what your influences are because you told us a few times, but what were those first albums that your mom or dad put on that really connected you with music and thought, this is something special in my life?
Yeah. Well, my dad's, funny you should say, was like a Johnny Cash fan for sure. My mom was more of a like Luciano Pavarotti and Maria Callas and Julie Andrews and
Wow.
And then I had a brother that was like Zeppelin, kind of like fan and Beatles, and then like I don't know, me and my friends like kind of were just classic rock heads, like we just were like all the old stuff, that really kind of just spoke to me, and then Jeff Buckley and Nirvana and stuff like that was also,
I heard from an interview that you were into Roy Orbison as well.
That I always forget. Like that's the thing. Like when you do like a bunch of interviews, you're like, I didn't mention that person. And then I always forget to mention Freddie Mercury. I'm like, come on.
You got to mention Freddie.
Yeah. But Roy Orbison's a huge thing. I mean, Roy Orbison for me is a very big one because he's like, he made me feel like, and I'm not fishing for compliments.
Oh, no.
Like, it made me feel like you could be like funky looking and be like, hey, it's okay. It's the emotion. But yeah, he like had this like, he was clearly, that guy clearly didn't look in the mirror and go like, I should be seen. People should see me, I'm beautiful, and he just was like, but he was legit and like authentic and just so, he could make you cry,
Yeah.
and I think, that's like a big thing for me, like eliciting emotion in a song, because I think there's nothing that really affects me more than when I'm like sad or even happy, and when someone just stirs my emotional state.
I love that because I'm a huge Roy Orbison fan too, and you're right, he can make you cry. And it's just
like his drama is ridiculous, like running scared, like that song. It's not even like there's no chorus to that song. It just keeps going. It's just this ongoing thing. It's like I hope she doesn't leave me. I hope it's okay. Here he comes. He might take her away. Fuck. It's like I got it.
Oh yeah.
Who does that? Nobody does that.
He's one of a million. I mean, he's really and very theatrical, and I love that about your music too because your music is also theatrical. I can feel it. I can feel that passion when you sing.
Thanks.
You write a lot of songs for other artists, and you mentioned that it's a way that you can kind of dive into their mind. You need to look into what they're feeling at the moment. But if someone was to write a song for you, what kind of events or things in your life or people in your life or feelings would you want them to hit on?
Well, that's a really good question.
Thank you.
Now I know why you wrote your question so small, because I would have liked to have seen that coming. That's a good one. I don't know, like it's funny. I learned a lot from being on the other side of it too, because when my first major label deal, that's how I got into being a songwriter, because I was put in a room with all these like big songwriters, and you're just like, and they like look at you and go like, who are you? And then try to write songs for you, and so I don't know. I think I would want them to just kind of write something authentic, and something that was powerful and something with like a humanitarian of sorts message, that just like spoke to like the human condition, and like I like in my songs to like kind of they're on like I like to commiserate with people about something I've been through,